Alright, everyone, so finally I am going to show you guys some tips and tricks with the iPhone 10. Now, I know I've been promising this for a little bit, and this video isn't going to be that long, but we're going to go over a few things that are going to make a difference for some people who don't know exactly that there may be a couple ways to do things, or that they could still do this on their new phone. So, first, we're going to talk about the gestures, because that is definitely different than before. So Apple says that to get to the app switcher, you have to go up and hold. And not that that's a really long process, but it takes a little bit of time, and it's not as smooth as just double tapping your home button like you used to. So one of the other ways you could actually do it is by going from this corner to the right. And that brings you right to your app switcher real quick. Just over to the right, and you're immediately right there. And it's probably, I don't know, a half a second left faster than if you go up and hold. So up to the corner, bam, you're there. So that's just one of ways to get to the app switcher. Another way is you can kind of go up and to the right. So that's another way to get to it. And go up to the right quick. And that's pretty fast too. But they both seem faster than just holding up and holding. Another thing that people don't really realize, to go from different pages, you can just swipe on the bottom of this new home tab. You can kind of just slide left and right rather than kind of going up and over, which is kind of what I assumed you had to do to get to it. So you just kind of slide left or right, brings you through all the open apps, then you can go back up to get to your switcher and press it down to get to the home screen again. So that's another thing. So again, you can just swipe on the bottom, even on your home screen, to get to other open apps. So this one's going to be about the lock screen. So when you're on your lock screen, you have your two 3D touch buttons on the bottom. Hold on, go away there. So you can get to your camera by 3D touching on your camera icon. But what people may or may not know is they still have the swipe to the right to get to your camera. Now, personally, I would say do one gesture over the other. Don't do both. It could get confusing. But again, that's just another way that you can get to your camera. So that's pretty easy. If you can notice, up here on the top of my notification area, you see this little line. So I have the newest beta installed on this phone, and what that did is it put this little line there for your control center on your home screen. So you can try to zoom in. There you go. You can see the little line right up underneath the Wi-Fi icon. I don't know why they did it, but it just kind of shows that there is a little area that's where your command center is. So easy enough. We're gonna get into the phone a little bit. So another thing is turning off your phone. So just holding your power button now invokes Siri. You don't want to have Siri when you're trying to turn off your phone. So there's a couple ways to do it. You can either hold the volume up in your power button, and then it brings up this screen. And just a side note, when this screen comes up, it actually disables Face ID, so next time you log in, you have to use your passcode. It's not a bad thing, but say you're leaving your phone somewhere and you want to make sure no one gets in it real quick, just hold those two buttons together. Brings up that emergency SOS. It also works with the volume down. Now, if you keep holding that, it will actually count down your emergency SOS from 5 seconds on the latest software, and I believe for 3 seconds for everyone else. But, see, as you can see now, I need to do my password. So there's that. Those are two ways you can get to turn off your phone. A third way is you have to go into your settings, not display, settings general. All the way in the bottom, you have shutdown. So if you don't feel like doing key presses, you can hit shutdown, and you will shut down your phone just as if you were going to do your other button combinations. So it's a lot different than just holding down your power button and sliding the turn off. Another thing I want to talk about is sometimes your iPhone is going to get in a funk. That's just inevitable. And we used to have a way to do it where you could hold your home button and your power button until the Apple logo would appear, and then your iPhone would hard restart, usually make it run a little better, unfreeze whatever was frozen. Now that obviously doesn't happen, no home button. So what do you do to hard restart your phone? It's kind of weird, but here's what it is. You go press your volume up, press your volume down, and then you hold your power button. Again, that brings up your slide to power off, which you can use again as a fourth way to slide to power off. But if you keep holding your power button after that button combination, your phone will hard restart, and you're going to want to hold your power button until you see the Apple logo reappear. So again, that's good in case your phone is frozen. I know I had to do it the other day because, again, this is beta software and it got stuck in a funk. So both of those are kind of little hidden ways that Apple doesn't necessarily tell you about for what's going on. So that would be basically what I got so far for tips and tricks. I guess I could say some criticisms about this phone right now, which I'm sure people will either agree, disagree, and I'm sure Apple will probably change or make them better. But right down here, right now, you notice with the openness underneath the keyboard. Don't know why I couldn't have brought the keyboard down, get those return and 1, 2, 3 buttons into the corners, or at least a little bit above it. It just seems like a little bit of wasted space. There's that. Another thing that I would consider a tip and trick: if your phone does not unlock with Face ID the first time, so let's cover it up for a second. Feel the little lock will do its thing. Cover my face. Unlocked it. But anyway, regardless, if your phone doesn't unlock with Face ID in the first try, to get it to try again without turning on your passcode is just kind of go up and down on your home bar, and it'll retry the Face ID. Because people didn't know after you did it one time if you have to put in your passcode or what the case may be. And so yeah, that's about it. As far as tips and tricks go, like I said, this is the latest beta. Some things have changed. I'll go over that quick. So Apple Pay Cash is here now, meaning that if you have a friend who also has Apple Pay Cash, you can send them money with it, and it's basically kind of like a reloadable gift card, I would more or less call it, for Apple Pay. You can do it with iMessage. It shows up in your wallet. So that's kind of neat. None of my friends have the beta, so I can't test it. But a lot of people have been saying it does work, as advertised. As far as anything else, there's some new backgrounds, some stability things. I know they've had a few issues going around with the iPhone 10 being, not working so good in cold weather, having the display not be responsive, or having some display, green lines and things. So I know people are going to say, well, Apple's phone for $1,000 shouldn't have that many problems. But I just want everyone to remember that every phone is going to have manufacturing problems because it's getting mass produced. There is always going to be imperfections. Google Pixels did it, and I'm not defending one nor the other. I don't believe if you're spending $1,200 that it should be wrong, but it's how they handle that complaint that really makes a big difference. So if you have a problem with your iPhone 10, don't feel like you have to keep it. I mean, go to Apple. Go to wherever you bought it. Have them solve the issue, because that's not right regardless. And I'm sure with the new software that comes out, and as the phone gets more and more widely used, there will be less and less problems. But again, this is Jared from TechWorks. I appreciate you watching the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.